Happy fall, everyone. I'm Tori Eldridge, author of The Ninja Daughter and The Ninja's Blade, books 1 and 2 of the Lily Wong series about a Chinese-Norwegian modern-day ninja in Los Angeles. But I'm not going to be reading from my action-packed thriller today. Today, I'm going to be reading a very quirky narrative poem in Weird Tales magazine. Check out the illustration. Oh my God, right? Yeah, so if you have not gotten your copy of Weird Tales magazine, I suggest you get on that quick. Okay, so without further ado, this is Amelia Delia Lee. There once was a girl named Amelia Delia Lee who lived in a house on a bluff by the sea. She climbed down the cliff and onto the shore where off of the rocks 10 anemones she tore. She plucked out the spines and ripped off the shells and swallowed them whole down her gullet and yelled, "Ooh, how delicious these rock creatures are! How they slip down so easy like oysters on par! I must have another 10 or 15. I'm really that hungry, not greedy or mean." She stripped the anemones naked and clean and swallowed them down, did Amelia Delia Lee. Up to her house she climbed and she crawled, with a belly so full onto her mattress she sprawled, and woke in the night with a horrible thirst, so parched and so desperate, could not have been worse. She drank water and juice, milk, and some wine, and when she was done thought she felt pretty fine, enough to sleep peacefully and wake with the sun to the crashing of surf and the hopes of some fun. So the girl named Amelia Delia Lee, who lived in a house on a bluff by the sea, climbed down the cliff and onto the shore, where off of the rocks 10 more anemones she tore. She plucked out the spines and ripped off the shells and swallowed them whole down her gullet and yelled, "I love how they slip down my throat with such ease and fill up my belly right down to my knees. I must have another 10, 15, or 20. I'm really that hungry, and there's more than a plenty." So she stripped the anemones naked and clean and swallowed them down, did Amelia Delia Lee. Again in the night did she tumble and curse, plagued by a horrible, terrible thirst. It cramped up her belly that had tripled in size. Eating 45 anemones is never too wise. She moaned and she groaned her way to the sink, where she guzzled plain water till her face turned bright pink. Yet still did she suffer as if she could be dying of thirst, was Amelia Delia Lee. She fell to her knees and rolled on the floor, clutching her ponderous belly for more of any relief she could find or to give that would make the cramps stop and let herself live. For Amelia Delia knew in that moment that Grim Reaper would take her if not for atonement. But for what? Or to whom? She could not imagine. She wasn't a witch or a snitch or assassin. She was a girl named Amelia Delia Lee, who lived in a house on a bluff by the sea. She climbed down the cliff and onto the shore, where off of the rocks the anemones she tore. But who did that hurt, as she plucked, ripped, and swallowed just mindless raw creatures whose life was to wallow in pools on the rocks with algae and sand? Of such a life she could not be a fan. Maybe she wasn't committing a sin. Maybe her belly was really quite thin. Maybe she needed water to drink and time in a bath to relax and to think. Off went her clothes, and into the closet to the bathtub she crawled and turned on the faucet, then heaved her great belly over the rim and made a great wave that splashed past the brim. She soaked and she drank in the tub through the night and filled up the bath when it drained and got light. again and again until her skin shriveled while her belly continued to grow more than a little. She crawled from the tub and rolled down the stairs out of the house and into fresh air, where the afternoon sun blazed down from the sky. At least she'd be warm if she started to die. Pain gripped her belly. She fell on it hard, belched out the air, and sprawled in the yard. Then out of the mouth of Amelia Delia Lee, 10 naked anemones squirmed and broke free. Plump from the water they drank from her belly, speckled from acid and starving and smelly. They squirmed from her mouth first, one and another, with no shells to protect them. Soon did they suffer. I'm sorry to say that you heard it from me, but it didn't end well for the creatures and Lee. So now in the dark by the cliffs near the sea, a sorrowful moan from the haunted there'll be, from 45 anemones fried into peas, and the starving ghost of Amelia Delia Lee. I told you it was quirky. So that was Amelia Delia Lee, my narrative poem in Weird Tales magazine. I hope you stay in contact. Visit me on my website, torieldridge.com. You can learn more about Weird Tales magazine and also The Ninja Daughter and The Ninja's Blade. So find me. And in the meantime, have an awesome autumn. Bye.